Nisse. Chapter 10. Peppernuts. Bruno was getting ready for school, packing his lunchbox with a sandwich his mother had made, a satsuma, a carton of apple juice, and a mince pie. "What is this round thing?" asked Annalisa, who was sitting on the biscuit tin. "That's a mince pie. Remember, I told you about them when you first arrived." "Yes, I remember." "I try some?" she asked. Bruno peeled a little piece off and handed it to her. She took a handful and shoved it in her mouth. Crumbs went everywhere. But this tastes delicious. Yummy. Nearly as good as peppernuts. Have you tasted peppernuts? Peppernuts? Bruno didn't know what they were. That sounds horrible. Very much not horrible. Little sweet cookies with Christmassy spices in. We make some when you back from school. We need kitchen when your mother busy. That shouldn't be a problem, grumbled Bruno. She's nearly always busy doing something. When he got back from school, his mother had some things to take care of. "Bruno, I need you to promise not to disturb me for the next few minutes unless it's very, very important." "Okay, Mum." This was perfect. She didn't want him to disturb her, and he didn't want her to disturb him. He rushed downstairs. Annalisa was already holding the apron up for him to wear. "You will get much messy, so put this on. We need flour, sugar, butter, eggs, baking soda, vanilla, cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, and allspice. Fetch, please." Bruno went around the kitchen, finding the ingredients. He found everything except the cardamom and placed them on the kitchen table. "Okie dokie, we have to make without cardamom. Now follow my directions," said Annalisa. Bruno did as he was told. He mixed together the butter and sugar in a bowl. Then he beat in the eggs one at a time. He mixed up the flour and cinnamon and stirred it into the sugar mixture until it was all blended. "You nicely messy. Well done. Good baking," exclaimed Annalisa. Bruno looked at himself. There was almost as much mixture on the apron as there was in the bowl. "Now to roll it." Bruno divided the dough into smaller dough balls and rolled each one into a long, thin rope. Carefully, instructed by Annalisa, he then cut each rope into lots of tiny balls and finally placed dozens of them onto a baking tray. "You had better get hold of your mother. Next part needs oven." Bruno went upstairs and found the door to her study firmly closed. He put his ear to the door and listened. He could hear just a few muffled words. "That's great. Thank you. And you'll send them in the post? Thanks. Goodbye." There followed a click. Bruno guessed that his mother had put the phone down, so he knocked on the door and opened it. "I thought I told you not to disturb me. How long have you been there?" "Just got here," he explained. "You said 15 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes, and I need you for something. I didn't think you'd want me to put things in the oven, so I've come to ask you to do it." "And just what is it that we're putting in the oven?" Mrs. Watson was curious, but Bruno wouldn't tell her. He wanted her to see for herself, and he led her down to the kitchen. She stood staring at the baking tray for a moment, and a smile slowly spread across her face. "Peppernuts! You've made peppernuts!" Bruno was astonished. "How do you know about peppernuts?" he asked. "Do you know? I have no idea. But as soon as I saw them, I knew exactly what they were. I haven't seen these since I was a little girl." "That must have been about 1,000,000 years ago," joked Bruno cheekily. "It does sometimes feel like 1,000,000 years ago. Come on, let's put these in the oven. In no time at all, they'll be cooked, and we'll have the smell of Christmas all through the house." Mrs. Watson seemed even more excited about it than Bruno did. He liked seeing his mum smiling and relaxed. It made him feel happy and content. After about 10 minutes, just as Mrs. Watson had predicted, the air was filled with the smell of Christmas spices. They took the peppernuts out of the oven and left them to cool. That evening, after dinner, they each had a cup of cocoa and nibbled on peppernuts. "This is Hugo," Bruno thought to himself. It had been a wonderful week for Bruno. He couldn't wait for the next one to begin. He wanted Annalisa to stay forever.
Jingle all the way.